Let me start by saying, I'm not a dramatic guy. I'm a quiet, spreadsheets and coffee type of man. I don't do scenes. I don't yell. But that day at the pool party, that day made me question everything. My friends, my marriage, and whether I was the only sane one left in the entire backyard. It was supposed to be a simple get-together. A barbecue at my friend Darren's house. He's the loud, frat bro turned financial advisor type, always inviting people over to drink, make noise, and pretend we're still 25. My wife, Emily, loves Darren. She says he's fun. I say he's an overgrown teenager who peaked in college and never realized it. We got the invite earlier in the week. Emily wanted to go. I didn't. You need to be more social, she said, as if having 3 awkward conversations and 4 beers in someone's humid backyard counts as therapy. I reluctantly agreed, like I always do. But I laid down one condition: no water games. I can't swim. Not a little. Not, I'm rusty. Not, I get nervous. No, I can't swim. Never learned. Childhood trauma. I almost drowned when I was 6 and have avoided pools like they're filled with acid ever since. Emily knows this. Darren knows this. Everyone who's known me longer than 5 minutes knows this. So imagine my surprise when, a few hours into the barbecue, Darren, 3 beers in and wearing flamingo print swim trunks, creeps up behind me with that stupid grin and says, "Time for the baptism, brother." Before I could even turn around, he and another friend, Chad, because of course it's always a Chad, grabbed me by the arms. I started panicking immediately. No, guys, don't. I'm serious. I can't swim. They thought I was joking. Emily was watching from a lounge chair, drink in hand, laughing like I was part of some hilarious prank. That laugh. God, I still hear it sometimes at night. Not just a chuckle, not concern-tinged laughter. No, it was full-blown amusement, like I was the evening's entertainment. My shirt was already off because it was 90 degrees out, but I had deliberately stayed far from the pool. Now here I was, being dragged closer to it like a sacrificial goat, and no one, not a single person, was stepping in to stop it. I screamed again, "I can't swim. I'm not joking." And Darren, ever the idiot, yells, "Come on, man. It's the shallow end." It's like 3 feet. 3 feet to him. 6 feet to me. Because when panic hits, you might as well be drowning in the ocean. They heaved. I fought, kicked, shouted, pleaded, and then it happened. My foot slipped on the wet concrete, and before I could brace myself, I was airborne. The next second, I hit the water. Cold, chlorinated, and all-consuming. It was like my entire brain shut down the moment I felt it over my head. I don't remember what sounds I made, if any. All I remember is flailing, gasping, and the absolute terror of not knowing which way was up. That's when everything slowed. I was sinking. I could see people above, blurry outlines, like I was watching life through frosted glass. One of them, probably Emily, was still laughing. Then I felt someone grab my arm and yank me upward. It was Darren, finally realizing I wasn't faking it. He pulled me to the edge and hoisted me out. I landed on my side, coughing, vomiting water, unable to speak. Every muscle was shaking. People stood around awkwardly. Some chuckled nervously. Someone handed me a towel. But no one apologized. And Emily? She rolled her eyes. "You're being dramatic." I couldn't believe it. "I could have died," I rasped. She shrugged. "You were fine. Darren had you. You're always so tense. You need to loosen up." That was the moment something inside me cracked. Not just at Darren. Not just at Chad. At her. Because she didn't just laugh. She didn't just let it happen. She enjoyed it. And that's where this all began. I didn't sleep that night. I lay there on the couch, still coughing up the occasional trace of chlorine, staring at the ceiling while Emily scrolled TikTok next to me like nothing had happened. Not once did she ask if I was okay. Not once did she say, "I'm sorry." You'd think I had spilled beer on myself, not nearly drowned in front of a dozen people. By midnight, I moved to the guest room. She didn't stop me. The next morning, Emily acted like it was any other Sunday. Made herself coffee, turned on the news, started texting her friends. The silence between us was thick enough to chew, but she pretended not to notice. Finally, I broke. "So you think what happened yesterday was funny?" She looked up from her phone, expressionless. "It wasn't that deep. I could have died." Emily rolled her eyes again. "Jesus, you're not 5. You were in the shallow end. Darren pulled you out in like 5 seconds. You're alive. Get over it." That phrase, get over it, snapped something inside me. Because I wasn't just hurt. I was humiliated. They made a show of me. A joke. And the one person who was supposed to have my back acted like I was the punchline. You stood there, I said, and laughed. Well, what was I supposed to do? She shot back. Jump in and play lifeguard? They were just messing around. No, Emily. You were supposed to tell them to stop. You were supposed to have my back. She threw up her hands. Oh my God, Mark. It was a prank. You act like they tried to kill you. I stared at her. They kind of did. Silence. That's when I knew something was broken. Something I couldn't duct tape back together with apologies or make up sex. My wife, the woman I'd known since college, the one who used to bring me soup when I had a cold, laughed as I panicked underwater. She laughed and called it, not that deep. Later that day, I started getting texts from people who had been at the party. Most were joking. Darren. LMAO, you good, bro? Didn't know you were that scared of water. Chad. Hey man, sorry if that went too far. We were just playing. One from Darren's girlfriend, Trina, stood out. Trina. Hey. I just want to say I thought what they did was really messed up. I told Darren not to do it. I'm glad you're okay. You deserve better, honestly. Better. That word rattled around in my skull like a loose screw. I didn't answer any of them. Instead, I started thinking. Because that wasn't just a prank gone wrong. That wasn't boys being boys. That was a line crossed, and not just by them. By her. And it wasn't the first time. Now that I was looking for the patterns, I started seeing them. Emily never missed a chance to put me down in front of other people. Just small things, a jab about me not liking sports, laughing when I said I didn't want to skydive on vacation, telling people I was basically allergic to adventure. It used to feel like playful teasing. Now it felt like something uglier. Later that week, I came home from work to find her on the phone with someone, wine glass in hand, giggling. Yeah, no, he says he can't swim, but I swear he flopped around like a fish on land. It was kind of pathetic. She saw me in the doorway, froze, and quickly ended the call. What? She said, defensive already. I'm pathetic? It was a joke. No, you're a joke, I snapped. And I'm done. She blinked. Done with what? You. This. Us. That hit. I could tell. Her jaw dropped slightly. She scoffed. You're not serious. I'm very serious. You're gonna divorce me over a prank? No. I'm going to divorce you because you enjoyed watching me suffer. That night, I slept at a hotel. I needed space. Not just physically, but mentally. Emotionally. I needed to figure out if I was making the biggest mistake of my life, or if I'd already made it when I married someone who laughed while I drowned. In the days that followed, Emily tried every tactic. At first, denial. You're overreacting. It was one stupid pool party. Then deflection. You always take things so seriously. Maybe you should try therapy. Then guilt. Are you really going to throw away 7 years of marriage over something like this? And finally, anger. You're pathetic. No wonder everyone thinks you're a buzzkill. Maybe you belong alone. That part stuck with me. Because deep down, I'd always feared that. That maybe she stayed with me out of convenience. That maybe my quiet life wasn't exciting enough. That maybe I wasn't enough. But Trina's words came back to me again. You deserve better. Maybe I did. And I was going to find out. Emily didn't take me seriously until she did. After I moved out, she bombarded me with texts. At first, she played the victim. You embarrassed me in front of everyone. Then came the apologies. I miss you. I was drunk. I didn't think. But I didn't answer. Not until I returned to the house for my laptop charger. She wasn't home, so I let myself in. While I was there, my phone buzzed, Darren. I ignored it. But something compelled me to check her office drawer. She always kept a tablet there for emails. It was still open. No password. And on it, a string of Facebook messages between Emily and Chad. From before the party. You really think he'll freak out? Mark's boring. He needs to loosen up. He'll be fine. You sure your husband doesn't suspect? He won't do anything. He never does. That was 2 weeks before they dragged me into the pool. There it was. The prank had been planned. Not spur of the moment. Not alcohol-induced stupidity. Planned. My wife had conspired with one of our friends to humiliate me in front of a crowd. And she didn't think I'd ever fight back. I snapped a photo of the chat thread and left. No note. No confrontation. I didn't need one. Now I had proof. And I wasn't just walking away anymore. I was going to make sure she regretted ever laughing. I didn't send the screenshots to her boss immediately. I wanted her to sweat first. I blocked her number. I blocked Darren. I even blocked Chad. The silence drove them crazy. I knew because Trina, Darren's now ex, started sending me updates. Turns out, once she saw the messages between Emily and Chad, Trina dumped Darren on the spot. Called him a mean girl in swim trunks. I like that. She was the only one who reached out to check if I was okay, without trying to downplay anything. A week after finding those messages, I sent an anonymous email to Emily's boss. No commentary, just the screenshots of her laughing about sabotaging her husband and conspiring with Chad, who, by the way, was also in the same department. It didn't take long. 2 days later, Trina texted me. Did you hear? Emily and Chad got called into HR. She left crying. I smiled. That night, I finally unblocked Emily. I didn't message her, just left the door open. And like clockwork, she called. You vindictive piece of sh*t, she said, voice shaking. I told you I was done. You got me suspended from work. No, you did that when you decided to use me for entertainment. She went quiet. Then, what do you want from me? I said nothing, because what I wanted was already happening. Her carefully curated world, cracking. Her friends, turning on her. Her job, slipping. And I hadn't even filed for divorce yet. It was a Friday night when she showed up. I'd just gotten back from the gym when I heard the knock. Emily stood there in a hoodie, no makeup, red eyes. For the first time since this all began, she looked small, powerless. Please, she whispered. Can we just talk? I let her in. Not because I wanted to, but because I wanted to see what she'd say now that her world was caving in. She sat on the edge of the couch like it was made of glass. I messed up, she said. I know that. I wasn't trying to hurt you. Stop. She flinched. You planned it. With Chad. You knew I couldn't swim, and you laughed. You mocked me after. You didn't just hurt me. You enjoyed it. Her voice cracked. I didn't realize how far it would go. I thought you'd just laugh it off like always. That's the problem. You thought I'd just take it. Again. She started crying. And I let her. I wasn't moved. I wasn't angry. I was numb. I lost my job, she whispered. They're still investigating, but it's not looking good. Chad's gone. Everyone's treating me like I'm a villain. Because you are, Emily. Silence. Then she pulled the last card she had. My parents called me today. They got a letter. I raised an eyebrow. Oh, I don't know what you sent, but now they think I'm some kind of manipulative psychopath. My dad won't even speak to me. Good. Her eyes widened. You told me I needed to loosen up. That I was too soft. That I didn't stand up for myself. I said calmly. So I did. And you're seeing what that looks like. She stood up, breathing hard. So what now? You just ruined my life? You win. No, I said. I'm just done letting you walk through mine like it's yours. She left without another word. And the next day, the divorce papers were in her inbox. I didn't expect the DM. It was from a woman named Kayla, and her opening line stopped me cold. I know you don't know me, but I think your wife did the same thing to my brother. I sat up straight. Kayla explained that 2 years ago, her brother Jason had briefly dated Emily before I met her. Said it ended abruptly, but painfully. I almost brushed it off until she dropped the bombshell. She humiliated him at a party. Same setup. Called it a prank. He had PTSD from a near drowning. She knew that. My stomach turned. She'd done this before. Jason was never the same after. She filmed it, laughed, showed it to friends. It got around. He dropped out of college 3 months later. I felt sick. It wasn't just about me anymore. This wasn't a one-off. It was a pattern. I asked for proof. She sent screenshots of old messages from Emily, bragging, joking, mocking. Then one that chilled me. You have to break boys down to make them man up. Jason needed it. I couldn't breathe for a moment. Emily wasn't just cruel. She was calculated. She targeted weaknesses and masked it all with jokes. Suddenly, everything made sense. How she always teased me in public, made little jabs about my job, called me boring behind my back. I thought it was just relationship banter. No, it was control. It was power. And I wasn't the first. That night, I forwarded everything from Kayla to my attorney. Emily hadn't signed the divorce papers yet, but I was about to give her every reason to wish she had. I thought she'd be too ashamed to fight the divorce. I underestimated her. A week after I sent the papers, I got a formal response. Not a signature, but a contestation. Emily was officially disputing the divorce. On what grounds? Emotional duress. Unjust retaliation. Attempted character assassination. She wasn't just trying to stall. She was going to war. My lawyer called me right away. She's trying to flip this. Position herself as the victim. It was laughable until the real strategy emerged. Emily filed a restraining order against me. Said I'd been emotionally abusive since the party. Claimed I'd orchestrated a smear campaign to destroy her career and reputation. She even claimed I'd threatened her parents. All lies. But legally, it created noise, confusion, delay. It also scared the hell out of me. I had been calm, deliberate, quiet. But now, the person who nearly let me drown, who mocked me to her coworkers, was painting herself as a terrified wife. My lawyer was unfazed. This is classic deflection. She's not defending her actions, she's attacking your reaction. Still, it got worse. Trina messaged me again. Apparently, Emily had reached out to her too, asking her to recant anything she'd said. Even offered her money. She's spiraling, Trina said. Desperate people do dumb things. Then Kayla reached out again. Her brother Jason had seen the story. He wanted to talk. I'm in, he said. She wrecked my life. If I can help, I will. We set up a Zoom call with my lawyer. Jason gave a statement. He still had the video, the one Emily filmed of him gasping for breath in a pool while everyone laughed. She'd sent it to people. He never forgot it. Neither would a judge. Now it wasn't just my word against hers. It was a pattern of abuse. But as we prepared to submit everything, Emily made one more move. She showed up at my apartment door at midnight, sobbing, barefoot, mascara streaked. If you don't drop this, I'll tell everyone what you did. What exactly did I do, Emily? Her lips curled. I'll make something up. I knew she'd pull something like this. That's why I'd been recording every interaction since the day she got suspended. Not out of paranoia, out of survival. So when Emily stood at my door, threatening to make something up, I didn't react. I let her speak. Let her rant. You think you're so smart, Mark? I'll say you hit me. That you screamed at me. You think people will believe you over me? Look at me. And there it was. The real her. I didn't say a word. Just pointed to the door frame, where a tiny red LED light blinked from a hidden cam. Her face dropped. You're recording me? Yep, I said. And I have been. For weeks. She staggered back, hands trembling. That's illegal. No, it's not. It's my property. One-party consent state. You just made a threat. On camera. She stormed out. Next day, my lawyer submitted the footage as part of our response to the restraining order, along with Jason's testimony, Kayla's screenshots, Trina's written account, and HR records from Emily's job. We had a timeline, witnesses, and now a direct threat on tape. 2 days later, I got the call. Her lawyer wanted to settle. She'd signed the divorce papers. She dropped the restraining order. No alimony. No court. Just walk away. But I wasn't done. She also signs a non-disparagement agreement, I said. She so much as tweets my name, she pays. My lawyer made it happen. When the paperwork was ready, I met her one last time. Neutral ground. Lawyer present. She didn't say a word. Just signed everything with her jaw clenched. As she stood to leave, I said, You didn't just break my trust. You tried to drown it. She turned, eyes hollow. Are you happy now? No, I said. But I'm finally free. I almost threw the envelope out. No return address. Just my name, written in shaky cursive. Inside, a folded sheet of lined paper and a small Polaroid photo. It was from Emily's mother. Dear Mark, I don't expect you to read this, but I need to say it anyway. I heard what happened. I know what she did. And I think you deserve the truth. Emily wasn't always like this. She changed after college. It started small, little lies, cruel jokes. I thought it was just immaturity. But over time, I realized something much worse. I kept reading. When she was 23, she did something to a boy she dated. I didn't know all the details, but I found photos on her laptop. Videos. She laughed when I confronted her. Told me I was too soft. Said the world was full of weak men who deserved it. I tried to get her help. Therapy. Anything. She refused. Said she liked who she was. I told her she'd hurt someone one day. She said that was the point. My hands were trembling. When she married you, I hoped maybe you'd bring her peace. But I saw it again, how she mocked you at family dinners, the way she undermined you in front of guests. I should have said something. I'm sorry I didn't. The letter ended with a single line. You didn't deserve what she did. No one did. I hope you find someone who sees your kindness as strength, not weakness. I looked at the photo. It was Emily, younger, maybe 22, smiling at the camera. Behind her, a man with wet hair, slumped at the edge of a pool. He looked dazed, barely conscious. She had done this before, more than once, and her own mother had been living with the guilt of silence. I folded the letter and put it away, not because I wanted to remember her, but because I needed to remember me. The man who finally stood up, who didn't drown, who walked away and meant it. It had been 3 months since the divorce was finalized. The silence was peaceful. No more texts. No more lawyers. No more games. Then I got the call. Blocked number. Normally, I wouldn't answer, but something told me to pick up. "Is this Mark?" a young man's voice asked. "Yes. My name's Leo. I don't know if you'll believe me, but I dated Emily. Last year. Briefly. I felt the chill immediately." He continued. "She told me you were some ex who was obsessed with her, that you made up lies, ruined her job, and stalked her after the breakup." I sat down slowly, but then someone sent me the video of the pool, the audio, the court records. I found Kayla. I found Jason. And I realized I wasn't the first. I was almost the next. He told me Emily had invited him to a party once. Her plan? Get him drunk, shove him into a pool, film it, laugh. She said, "You're too uptight. Maybe drowning will loosen you up." I thought she was kidding, but Leo had walked away before it happened. Said something felt off. The way she smiled when he looked scared. Now he wanted to speak out. He was working with a content creator who exposed emotional abuse cases. Wanted to make sure no one else fell into her trap. "Are you okay with me using your story?" he asked. I thought for a long time. Then, yes. But not for revenge. Not for views. "If you're going to do it to protect the next guy. The one who hasn't met her yet." "I will," he promised. We hung up. And just like that, it came full circle. She tried to drown me, literally and emotionally. But in the end, she drowned herself. And I learned to breathe again.